Good morning, children. In this video, we are going to continue the same chapter, Democratic Politics, and the topic we are going to take is why do we need rights in a democracy? Now, rights are necessary for the sustenance of a democracy in any country. In a democratic country, every citizen they have the right to vote and the right to be elected to the government, and if democratic elections takes place in any nation, then it is very necessary that citizens have the right to express their opinion, and they are also free to form the political parties, and they can even participate in the political activities. Now, rights are having a very special place or role in democracy. The rights protect the minority groups from the oppression they could face from the majority group. It ensures that the majority group cannot do anything they like to do. Rights are the sort of guarantee which are used when some things go wrong, and things can go wrong when citizens tries to take away the rights of other people. This thing usually happens when in majority the majority group want to dominate the people of minority group. Now the government are having such laws that protects the citizens' rights in any such kind of situation. But sometimes the elected government may not able to protect the rights of their own citizens. That is why these rights need to be placed even higher than the government, so that even government cannot violate them. And in most democracies, the basic rights of the citizens are written down in the constitution, and the same way in our country also our democratic rights are also written in our constitution. Now in the next topic we'll see what are the rights that are offered or that are there in the Indian constitution. So in this figure you people can see that there are 6 fundamental rights that are offered by the Indian constitution. So these rights are right to constitutional remedies, right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, and cultural and educational rights. Now these rights are fundamental to our life, and they are given a special status. That is why they are known as fundamental rights. Now in second chapter we read about the preamble of our constitution, and the preamble of our constitution talks about securing all of its citizens equality, liberty and justice. And fundamental rights are the things which put this promise of securing people's equality, liberty and justice into effect, and they are an important basic feature of our constitution. Now we will go through all these 6 rights. So first let us understand the right to constitutional remedies. Now right to constitutional remedies can be used when any of the citizens' rights are violated, or it is attacked by the other person or the other government or the majority group, or anyone who tries to violate our right. Then a special right is given to the citizens of constitutional remedies, and under this right the citizens are having the powers to move to a court of law if they are in any case of denial of their fundamental rights. They can move to the Supreme Court even if their rights are being violated, and in order to get their rights followed. So if any of these other rights are being violated, then right to constitutional remedies can be used, and a person can move to the court to help this out. Now, the second right is right to equality. Now, our constitution says that the government cannot deny to any person in India about their equality before the law, or it provides the equal protection of the laws. Now, this equal protection of laws or equality before the law, it means that law applies in the same manner to every citizen regardless of their status. Though they are rich, they are poor, they belong to any caste, any sex, any religion, they will be given equal rights and equal status. And this particular thing is called the rule of law. And this rule of law is the foundation of any democracy. It means that no person is above the law, and there cannot be any discrimination or distinction between a political leader, government official and an ordinary citizen. Everybody in India will be treated equally and will be given equal status no matter to whatever class they belong. So, few points are there which we need to remember, that the government will not discriminate against any citizen on the ground of their religion, their race, caste, sex or place of birth. All will be given equality or treated with equality. Also, every citizen they shall have the access to go to any public places like shops, restaurants, hotels, cinema halls. There also no discrimination will be there, and people will be having all the access to all the places of entertainment. Okay, and there shall also be no restriction with regard to the use of the wells, the tanks, bathing huts, roads, playgrounds and places of public resorts maintained by the government or which are dedicated to the use of the general public. So these places, in these places also no discrimination should be there. Everyone and anyone should be allowed to go and spend their time, and all the citizens will have the equality of opportunity in matters relating to the employment or appointment to any position in the government. So all these things will be followed. There should be no discrimination on any ground. People should have equal access to all the public places like hotels, cinema halls, shops, and there can not be any restriction with the use of any public resort which are maintained by the government or which are for the general public use, and there will be equality of opportunity in all the matters which are related to the employment to any position by the government. So these are the rights which are given under the right to equality. So through this right we came to know that every citizen, even if he is the prime minister or if he is a small farmer living in a remote village, they will be subjected to the same laws. There will be no discrimination or no special treatment or privilege would be given just to an important person. Now moving to this block, you have to read this box on your own, and many form of untouchabilities are given here. It is a newspaper report of 1999 where different incidents are being described which shows how untouchability and caste discrimination was being practiced in our country, and what sort of treatment of behavior was being done with the Dalits or the people belonging to the scheduled caste or scheduled tribe. So you will come to know that what sort of discrimination these people faced, and due to all these things why the right to equality is so much important, because such things happens in our country, and in order to stop such things or in order to give us equal status to all the people, whether to whichever class, to whichever section they belong, so the right to equality is very important, because there are incidents or events which takes place in our nation which shows this inequality or discrimination. So you have to go through this, the form of untouchabilities which were used to be practiced. Now coming on to the next right is right to freedom. Now under this right to freedom, it means that there should be absence of interference in our own affairs by the other people, be it the other individuals or be it the government. If we want to live in a society, we want to be free and we want to do the things in the way we want them to do. Others should not dictate us what we should do and what we should not do. So 6 kind of freedoms are given under this right to freedom. Now what are they? So first is the freedom of speech and expression. Next is the freedom to assemble in peaceful manner. Then third, freedom to form associations and unions. Fourth, freedom to move freely throughout the country. Fifth, freedom to reside in any part of the country. And sixth one is freedom to practice any profession or to carry any occupation, trade or business. So these freedoms, 6 freedoms are given under the right to freedom. Now you should remember one thing, that every citizen has a right to follow these freedoms or do things according to these freedoms, but this does not mean that you exercise your freedom or practice your freedom in such a manner that it violates the rights of the other people or freedom of the other people. Your freedoms should not cause public nuisance or disorder, and you are free to do everything which does not hurt others. Because freedom is not been given an unlimited license to do whatever it wants, and accordingly the government can also impose certain restrictions on the freedom in the interest of the society. Now we will go through all these 6 freedoms one by one. Now first one is the freedom of speech and expression. Now this freedom is an essential feature of our democracy. Our ideas and our personality develop only when we are given the freedom to communicate freely with others. Now if 100 people think in one way, you should have the freedom to think differently. Means no one can control your ideas or control your views. You are having the freedom to express your views accordingly. And if you even disagree with some of the policies of the government or activities of the government or some associations or some political parties, you should get the freedom to criticize the government or even the activities of such parties. Now you can even public your views through a pamphlet, magazine or newspaper. You can even make paintings, you can make poetries, you can make songs. However, only one thing you should remember, that you cannot use this freedom to instigate violence against others. Okay, so you are having the freedom to express your views in the written form, in the newspapers, magazine, through paintings, through your speeches. You could express your views in any form, but you should remember one thing, that your views should not be such that it creates violence against others. So this is the first freedom. Now the next is the freedom that is given to the citizens to hold meetings, processions, rallies and demonstration on any issue. Now if there's a group of people and they want to discuss any problem, they want to exchange some ideas, or they want to get the public support on any matter, or they want to seek votes for a candidate or party in an election, so they can hold the meetings for such cause. They can even take out the processions, take out rallies or any demonstrations. But there is one condition which is being given, that such meetings have to be peaceful. These meetings should not lead to any public disorder or should not cause any violence or should not disrupt the peace in the society. And whoever people who wants to participate in these activities and meetings should not carry any weapons with them. Now there is also one more freedom, that's a freedom given to the citizens to form associations. Now what are associations or unions? They are the group of people working in the same organization. For example, the workers working in a factory can form a workers union, or some laborers working in a mill can form labor union. So they can form such unions in order to promote their interest, and this interest could be anything related to their work or occupation or any other common public motive. So there is a freedom given to the people to form even this associations and unions. Now next is the freedom to travel to any part of the country. Now we are free to travel throughout the country. Two things are there. First, we are free to travel wherever we want to go, and second is we are free to reside in any part of the country. If a person, an example is given here, that if a person lives in Assam and he wants to start a business in Hyderabad, he may not have the connection with that city, and he also may not have seen that city before, but that particular citizen has the right to set up his business there. This right allows lakhs of people to migrate from one village to the other village, and the people from the poorer regions of the country to the places where they could get some employment. And we could see that first we are having the freedom to move freely throughout the country. If we live here in Ratlam and we want to travel to Kashmir, no one can stop us from going and visiting there. So it is our right to visit in any part of the country. We could reside or live in any part of the country. If today we are living here in Ratlam and we in the next month we want to go and settle in Mumbai, so no one could stop us from doing that. So we can reside in any part of the country. And if today we are doing some business here in Ratlam and we want to switch or start up some new business and go in Gujarat, so we could also go there. So these are the three freedoms that are also given under this. So total we have seen there are 6 freedoms which are given under the right to freedom. Now few more freedoms are given under this right to freedom. The Constitution says that no person can be deprived of his life or personal liberty. All the people are having the right to life, and their personal liberty can also be not deprived by any other individual or government. Okay, it means that no person could be killed or could be arrested, and they could be arrested but they could not be killed unless the court has ordered a death sentence. So the police officer or the government cannot even arrest or detain any citizen unless he has a proper legal justification. Now in the starting of the chapter we read about an incident of Guantanamo Bay in America, that how 600 people from different parts of the world were secretly picked up and they were put up in a prison. While now if you compare it with our country, you will see here that what is written in our constitution, that no person will be deprived of their personal life or liberty. They cannot be killed unless a proper death sentence is ordered by the court, and they can also not be arrested unless the police is having a proper legal justification. Now, and even after the person is arrested, the following procedure has to be followed. So let us see what is this procedure. So a person who is arrested and in custody will have to be informed of the reason why he is arrested. You cannot just pick up any person and put him or her in jail. You have to give a proper reason and proper notice or legal justification have to be given to the person before his arrest. And a person who is arrested in the jail now shall be produced before the he shall be presented before the nearest magistrate within a period of 24 hours. You cannot just like that only keep the person in the jail for years. A chance has to be given to that person to be presented before the magistrate. And such a person also have the right to consult a lawyer so that the lawyer can speak or he can take his case in the court and present that particular who is the victim in the court. So firstly, they cannot be arrested without a legal notice, cannot be given a death sentence without a proper, until it is announced, declared by the court. And if he is or she is arrested also, then these following things have to be followed. So these procedures gives the person a complete right of life and personal liberty, and this cannot be taken by any other person.